these trappers hunting the beavers, conquering the north of the United States of America, which was full with beavers, and they lived in the wild, so they would kill those beavers, and once they skinned them, they would, I think, put it through the skins through salted water to kind of dehydrate them slightly, at least so it would not rot. After they had defleshed it, so you first have to skin it, then deflesh it, remove all the flesh from under the skin so it will not rot, and then put it through that salted water. Well, I'm just giving the very large lines, I'm not an expert in that. I just know the big lines and all. Tons of documentaries on YouTube explaining how to do it. And then they would put it inside their coats, because anyhow it was very cold there. I think it got very cold, they slept outside, and all those wild men, those mountain men, they call them, those beaver hats here, the actual beaver fur made with a pelt. They would keep the pelt inside the coat, and with the riders, perspiration over the months, it took about a year for the above growth to naturally peel off from what was beneath on the belly, the undergrowth, that downy fur used for luxurious hats. But now these are not the long haired hats. You can, but it will not really look the same. They also did that with white hair, but white hair was mostly in Europe. And those white hair hats, they're actually white. They're not rabbit. They have a hair, so it's much bigger. There's a different species. They cannot even reproduce one another. And the hair is very different. It's much, much softer and also stronger, but especially softer. And these are rare animals, and they were wild. And I think by the late 18th or early 19th century, some of them, or perhaps that was later on, like nowadays, they are not actually wild. This is called the species wild hair, but they actually, which makes the whole process even more sadistic, because they are kept in cages and more. They're not just shot outside, but like at least they had a life before. So, but the best ones were actually wild, caught in the wild, killed. And so let me finish with the beaver hats. So the beaver hats, they will take that fur, well, that wool, and peel it off. And through the processes, they will basically compact it together, make that big sort of spiderweb thing, to spin around the big kiln, I've shown videos, and then start wetting it with very hot water and putting pressure, so it would shrink it all down, felting it. So it's kind of like that, basically, except this is not beaver. This is most likely, maybe there's some beaver, some nutria most likely, because it was European. Mostly rabbit. Never mind. And then, if they wanted the long hair, they had to comb it. So obviously, until the early 20th century, this had to be done by hand. They had no machine to do that. So it was extremely expensive because it was very long. I think a comber had to take this young and very strong man. They would dip it into these very boiling solutions. They did that basically in their under trousers, half naked. It got so hot. They had this dipping thing, dip it in, take it out, the felt, take that comb, this big brushes with metal spikes. The solution contained shellac and some other chemicals that meant they were breathing those, and they could not keep a mask on because they could hardly keep breathing, with all the steam and everything, so they will not keep the handkerchiefs on or anything. They were already working out so hard, and brush the felt until the shellac, the motion from that with the shellac and everything would actually brush the hair out from the felt. That makes sense. It will can't do this with rabbit felt. I do not know if this is rabbit or not. And it will, step by step, it will take out those hairs and brush them, and it will become like hair again. The best ones, they will also do the underside, even if it was meant to be worn with the lining, and even if without the lining, one would think, but no one cares about the inside of the hat. Yes, but the underside, they will brush it. I think I remember, read this in the 1920s article from 1929, German one translation, I already talked about that article. On the inside of the felt. So the felt by that time is just a blank piece, a flat piece. So they would reverse it and they would brush in the other direction. So then that means that the hairs, they kind of pull each other out, so they do not spike up and eventually from spiking up curl up and eventually go back to this sort of matte felted finish after years, and thus they do not have to be brushed ever so much or even polished with anything. They keep that very sleek appearance, kind of exactly sort of the same than when a silk plush top hat is not polished. Like most of these antique ones on eBay that people think are what they think is beaver fabric, which is really white hair, felted wool which has been brushed. This is exactly what it is. So, or peluche, felted peluche wool, which means it has been brushed, and thus is a peluche. Peluche in French means a soft toy teddy bear, you know, like exactly like this. This is a peluche in French. It refers to the actual cloth, you know. It is soft and downy, but actually the long-haired beaver one people call long-haired beavers are actually much longer than hair. So anyhow, but you know, the traditional peluche was not like that. It had actually got long hair, you know, the more expensive ones, they still make them, you know? So now this cannot be done really with rabbit. And not really. I think with rabbit, if they put some rabbit, it will not really work. Maybe if they put some rabbit in there, mixed even with beaver and not white hair, they would kind of, with exactly the same process, they would kind of succeed in making a very short hair, kind of what is now called velvet finish. Velour finish. Maybe they would get to a velour finish next. A velour finish, velvet finish is exactly sort of like this soft toy. Velour finish is the step above. Then to have suede and velvet and then velour. So I think they would kind of get to a velvet, perhaps max velour level, and nowhere near the actual peluche level, which means long hair. Right, kind of short hair, but they also call short-haired beaver. But the one he wears in Gangs of New York, the hat he wears, I don't think is polished. With tail on it, so it will get shinier with and longer hair, like with polished tail. I mean the one Bill the Butcher wears, or check the white one he wears. Just for sale, so you can actually see zoomed in photographs if you type Bill the Butcher top hat for sale on Google. And look at the white one, you see it looks like it is there, it's probably white hair, but the modern ones probably they stopped doing the hand blushing in 1929 because the computer stopped. And also now they cut it, and what they did then with Nutria. So Nutria is almost like beaver, but a little bit better. But the best of the best ones, they were, as per my understanding, 100% white hair. Oh no, the best ones were white hair with that 10 to 15% Nutria. But they had to be done by hand. And so they would look shinier and sleeker and barely requiring any brushing. And best of the best of the best, they would be brushed the opposite direction. I think the opposite direction, perhaps I'm wrong, perhaps the same direction. On the other side, so then the wool hat, you know, the under the brim, everything would be that long haired finish. But it could not get near as shiny as that when that is polished, which means exactly as it is now, which is actually silk plush. So, should this be like this? Yeah. So, with the beaver, especially if they use the 100% beaver, even more if they use the 100% Nutria, they could get a long-haired thing, unlike with the 100% rabbit. but it will be sort of